I know the simple way to get rock and roll. I know the simple way to get you out of control. I can manipulate it like a doll. I say to all of the chicks and the girls I've loved, to all of my enemies, true and false, to everyone who's got no home, I say yeah, I say fuck you all. I know the simple way to get rock and roll. I know the simple way to get you out of control. I can manipulate it like a doll. I say yeah.
Hello and welcome in another episode of DStage Garage. Today is 2nd of January 2016 and the winter has finally hit us. It's about -5 outside and astonishing +1 in here in our garage. So the coming days will be a bit tough for us, but nevertheless we need to forget about the cold and just push it a little bit farther, as there's really not much to do left to finish this Super Canary build. But before we do that, let's quickly revive what was already done. So first we had to remove the old engine and replace it with the T-Jet. We've mounted it with the original gearbox, just changing the clutch. After that it turns out that we need to cut out a big chunk of the front chassis and of course weld the reinforcement in its place. Yep, we've also did a few changes in the cooling system, and the new cooling system is almost ready now. There is also a new intake with an intercooler mounted already in its place. The new engine loom is almost done, just a few wires to the ground and that's it. Bigger servo and brand new bigger master cylinder. Custom electronic throttle control. We also have the downpipe ready and it's time for the rest of the exhaust. We need to find a correct position for our new performance 100 CPSI catalytic converter. CPSI stands for cells per square inch and 100 is the lowest number you can get. It gives you lowest possible restrictions, but also makes the cut a bit big. The whole exhaust is 2.5 inch in diameter, which should be enough even for future plans. We salvaged hangers from my old exhaust, and since they are the only parts not made of stainless steel, we put a zinc coat to keep the rust out. Front half is ready now. Let's start with the back. Nice clean cut. I just love my Makita Benzo. Welding flanges from the inside is easier, looks better, and the weld won't collide with the bolts. The plan is to put the outlet in the center, so we add one new hanging point. Last part is the oxygen sensor socket. We weld it with an old sensor fitted to prevent thread deformation. Few bolts and the whole thing is ready to go. Let's take this Van Gogh moment to take a look at cooling and intake piping details. At this point we are moments away from first start, but after a while we realized that something doesn't add up. Strange noises coming from the engine assured us that something disastrous might have happened, and the only thing left for us today is assessing the damage. So we cut the timing belt and start the process of taking the cylinder head off. If that wasn't enough, the power went down and we had to finish the job with flashlights. Our predictions and fears came true. All 8 intake valves were bent. So what has actually happened that all 8 of my intake valves now look like that? Yeah. Maybe let's first take a look on the combustion engine build. So what we've got here is the camshaft that looks like that. Yeah, and every second turn of the drive shaft, the camshaft will push on the push rod that then will also push the valve here, right? So the camshaft is rotating, pushing the push rod, which then opens the valve. right? It pushes it down and the valves open. And usually this happens while the piston is starting going down, and let's say the valve will be closing around the position when the piston will be going up again. Yeah, so that's what's happening normally. But sometimes it can happen that the camshaft is no longer synchronized to the drive shaft that moves the piston. And why, you may ask? Well, for example, when you have the timing belt failure, right? And what happens then is that the camshaft will push on the push rod, open the valve. For example, at the moment where the piston is going up. So, in some engines that are so-called collision-free, it may happen that they will just both be at the let's say the final position, and nothing will happen, nothing bad will happen. And that's what's happening, for example, in the 8 valve 1.1 fire. Yeah, nothing bad will happen. But most modern 16 valve engines are not collision free, which means that when this unsynchronization happens, the valve will actually hit the piston. And since this is of course much weaker than the piston itself, it has nowhere else to go but to bend. And that's exactly what happened with my 8 intake valves. But you may ask, why did it happen? Let's take a look. In majority of engines, the cam cover is just a sealed piece of metal that covers the camshaft and prevents the oil being split all over the place, right? And the cams themselves are placed in the cylinder head, and when you try to adjust the timing belt, you have to first block the camshaft using a special blockade and putting it above the camshaft, right? So from the top. But fire engines are a bit unusual in that matter, because the cams are not placed in the cylinder head, but instead they are actually placed in the cam cover. So the cam cover is now a much more complicated piece of aluminum that holds the camshaft, and you put them not from above but rather from the side. So because of that, you cannot actually put any blockade from above, because you simply cannot see the camshafts in any way. So what Fiat engineers did was preparing those slots that you see here, and there is a special hole on the side of the cam cover where you put this kind of blockade. Yeah, so on 16 valve engines you've got 2 of those holes from each side, but you can actually block just one of the camshafts since they are combined together with the sprocket. So anyway, this goes from the side and comes into that slot here, right? Yeah, people sometimes also use just a big Allen key instead of this special blockade, whatever. Yeah, so we block it like that. And there is another difference from majority of engines, and this goes to the position of pistons. And let's take a look. What I have here is another special tool that helps you determining the position of the pistons. Yeah, usually people just use welding rod for that, but anyway, this is a special tool that you put into your spark plug socket. So in many engines, when you are adjusting or putting on the timing belt, you will, for example, check if the first cylinder is at the most upper position, right, a top dead position. But this is another difference in fire engines. So the procedure actually tells you to do that while all pistons are at the same position, so in the middle. And of course you have to just take a look at two of them, the first cylinder and the second, because yeah, then all of them will be actually at the same height. And so you make sure that they are at the same height and block the camshaft, or the camshafts actually, and put on the timing belt. Yeah, seems like a easy task, right? But unfortunately there are two different situations when those cylinders can be at the same height. Let's take a look. So first, cylinder 1 is at the top dead position and cylinder 2 is at the bottom position. Cylinder 1 is now going down, cylinder 2 is going up, and they meet in the middle. Okay. And they continue the movement. So cylinder 1 goes down, cylinder 2 goes up, and what happens next is they reverse. So cylinder 2 is now going down while cylinder 1 is going up, and they meet again. So we have actually two different possibilities when they will meet. Either the cylinder 1 is going down and cylinder 2 going up, or the other way. Yeah. So what actually happened, I have no idea how we missed that, but somebody has put the timing belt exactly 180 degrees off because of choosing this different situation. Not the one that cylinder 1 is going down and the other one is going up, but the other way. Yeah, so that's exactly why all 8 of my intake valves are now bent. There's nothing else to it. Yeah, I guess shit happens.
But fear not, every cloud has a silver lining. Next time we're going not only to replace the valves and gaskets, but also do a small porting and get a brand new distribution kit, water pump included. First ride awaits. See you soon.